Hi, I am putting together this video to give you a little insight on my background, my career, and also a little bit about Taylor Made Beauty and what I now do. So I have been in the beauty industry for over 25 years, and most of my background and most of my time has spent in the field of training and education. So training consultants, makeup artists, on serving and product knowledge for the end customer. I have been lucky enough to work with some great brands and great companies. I spent 8 years of my career at Space NK in both sales and then education. And in those days, in the very early days of Space NK, we launched a lot of brands into the UK market that actually weren't here before. So brands like Laura Mercier, NARS, Kiehl's, some of the medical doctor brands that the UK had never seen. So I was lucky enough to be present when they launched, and often because it was so exciting for these brands to launch in the UK for the first time, we met these founders. So I worked with people like Laura Mercier herself, so it was really exciting, and also exciting to be there when these brands launched, and they're brands now that we see in a lot of retailers. So that was my time at Space NK. I have also been fortunate enough to work for Estee Lauder, and then also for most recently for Bobbi Brown. With my time at the Lauder Group, I was lucky enough to not only work in the UK and with the UK teams, but also to work overseas. So I spent time in New York working with, for example, Bobbi Brown herself. We went over there regularly for training with Bobbi, and I worked on events in New York with the customers, which was really great. And then I also worked across Europe and the Middle East. And for me, what was really exciting about that is I knew the UK market really well, and I knew the retailers and I knew the end consumer, what the customer wanted. But to then learn the different aspect of service and what customers overseas want, so you know how they want to be served in the Middle East, how they respond to American brands in Paris, it was really interesting. So that was really exciting time for me. So working really across a lot of the world. The only untapped area I've not visited and worked in is Asia, which is on my wish list. It's on my wish list to do. So a couple of years ago I decided to set up my own consultancy business, and my main goal was to work with brands, also retailers, distributors. A lot of products are come through distributors into the UK, and also to think about how those brands are presented and served to the end customer. So because of my experience across a lot of brands, and also because of my age, I have a real passion for the service that the end customer receives, but particularly maybe a more mature customer. The other area I really enjoy is also writing. So I've been fortunate enough recently to have a piece published in Inspire Weddings magazine, which is a beautiful publication, both in print and also available to download. It's an Irish publication, and I was asked to write a piece on mother of the bride or mother of the groom's makeup and skincare suggestions. So for me, this was a real honour to work with such a great publication, but also it gave me a great opportunity to use my knowledge across all the brands that I know and that I work with and use myself to really suggest and recommend products that were right. And that for me is the most special thing about what I do now with Taylor Made Beauty, is I work with and I choose to work with products that I know make a difference, that I know work for my end consumer. There's a lot of talk now of how the beauty industry is waking up to the 40-plus woman, and you will see that many of the brands now are using great imagery of these older women in their campaigns. So for me, a real piece to make sure kind of completes the jigsaw is that that end service that customer receives matches what she expects. So that's a real passion for mine as well. So be it passion for product, working with brands and distributors or retailers, my main focus is always how the brand is presented to the end consumer, because ultimately, we know it's a very crowded market out there, and your service and how you're presented is what really makes you stand out.